Hi, my name's Emma, and I help coaches and service providers automate tasks in their business with Dubsado. In today's video, I want to talk about inquiry workflows and the different inquiry workflows that are out there to help you make a decision around, which one could be right for you for the type of industry that you're in and the stage of business that you're at. So there are three types of inquiry workflows that I've seen. One of them is allowing people to book a call from the get-go. The next one is them filling out a form and then you inviting them to a call based on their answers in the form. And the third one is making a sale directly on your website. And these will all depend, what stage of business you're at, maybe your industry. So let's go into more detail around each one and help you make a decision as to which one could be right for you. So let's get started. Let's talk about that first type of inquiry workflow, which is people booking a call with you and then filling out a form. So how you would do this in Dubsado is basically attach a scheduler or a link to a scheduler on your website. So if you look at my website, basically this is what I'm doing, right? I have a scheduler there and I have a form attached to it. So to do that, basically you would set up all the details of your scheduler. If you need more help on this, I have a video on how to set up your scheduler in detail. So I'll put that link above. So what you're going to do basically is in the advanced settings of the scheduler, where you see this additional form, you're just going to select which lead capture form you need to use for here. So you would attach it. So from a scheduler perspective, this is what you would need to do to connect the form to your scheduler, and then to embed the scheduler on your website. You see these little link icons. You're going to click that. So if you want to use a direct link on your website, you can use this one. If you want to embed it, you would use this one. And then you would put it in an HTML block on your website. That's what I do. I use Squarespace. I insert this iframe code into my site, and then my scheduler basically appears with a form attached to it. The important thing here to trigger a workflow happens on the lead capture side. So you're going to go to your form. This is my test Dubsado account that I used for videos. So I am going to come here under form settings, and you see that this is you can attach a workflow here. Okay, so depending on what workflows you have, you would have to set those up first. So let's say I wanted to connect the inquiry workflow that I have, I would do that. And I can even select, when people fill out this form, pick their time on the scheduler, fill out their form, where do I want them to land in Dubsado? So you can select a status, which in this case would be discovery call booked, because anyone who fill out this form means that they also selected a time to talk to me. And that's it. So you would just save and close. So any changes that you make to your scheduler or to your form, once it's embedded, will be automatically updated. So you don't have to keep updating that code. So you can make changes, you can add questions, remove questions, all of that, and you don't have to worry about the code changing. So one tip that I have for you when it comes to designing lead capture forms is keep it short and sweet. The more questions you add, the more overwhelming it is from a user experience, and you're going to find that some people are going to drop out. So the shorter you can keep it, the more simple, the better. I've seen people I look at their lead capture forms on their site and I don't want to fill it out. I just leave. So think about that as you're adding these questions. And another tip is do not ask for their phone number unless you actually need it. If you do need it, explain to them why. So here on the phone number, you can put a placeholder text and say, please provide your phone number so I can call you for our chat, or any other reason, so I can text you, whatever that is. And if you don't really need it, you can leave it as optional, but I would just remove it. I used to ask for it and I found that I was never using that. My clients are from all different parts of the world. I do not call them. If I'm going to talk to them, it's over video conference. So I simply removed that information. I don't have my client's phone number because I don't need it really. All my communication happens through email and our conversations happen on Zoom. So there have been studies where they have found that people drop out of forms at a much higher rate when their phone number is being requested. at this early stage. Like if you really need it later on, maybe wait till they become your client and you can ask for it in the proposal. But if you really don't need it at this early stage, don't ask for it. So who is this type of workflow best for? It's best for people who are getting started, who haven't booked very many clients yet. So this allows people to book easily and directly with you without you having to, vet people. It's just like you have the time, you have the capacity, so you want to take on as many discovery calls or sales calls as you possibly can. This type of workflow is a good fit for you. The next type of inquiry workflow is basically them filling out a form and then you reviewing it through the workflow or getting a notification and a to-do, review. If yes, continue the workflow. If no, you can send them an email. So how does that work? That is also a lead capture form, but it is not attached to a scheduler. So here you would add all the questions that you want. It's like an application form, let's say. And again, you would come here and you would connect it to a workflow. And then everything else would happen inside the workflow. You would get a to-do. Please review, clients' form to deem if they are, a good fit for your program. If yes, then you check off that to-do. And then the next step in the workflow would be to send them a scheduler. So the scheduler wouldn't be on your website. The scheduler would be sent through a workflow. So let me go into the workflows that I have here to see if I have one that works that way. So how it would look is basically this to-do applies. Review client's lead capture form and determine if they're a good fit. Okay, so the idea is if you check off this task, Dubsado is going to continue down the yes path, right? And if you don't want them to continue down that yes path, the path where they're going to become your client, then you're going to manually send them an email, and you can have that in your canned email, and you're just going to manually send them that canned email in their project. So the next step, if yes, is you're going to send them an appointment scheduler. So I'm just going to find any of these, and then we're going to send them. I don't know if I have it here. Something like this, right? Obviously, you can elaborate on this, but the idea is you're going to send them the appointment scheduler right after you check off that to do, and then it's going to invite them to have a conversation with you. And then the next step after that would probably be another to do. After you talk to them, do you think they're a good fit for your program still? If yes, then you can start a different workflow where you send them a proposal, a contract, an invoice, all of that kind of stuff. So this type of workflow works better for people who need to confirm if they're available. Let's say you're a photographer. You want to make sure that you talk to people that you have availability for and not someone whose date you're already booked out. So that's it works for them. It works for people who are getting so many discovery calls that they can't keep up, or they're starting to get booked out and they don't have the time. So they want to make sure that they're only talking to people that are a good fit to work with. So if that's you, this type of inquiry workflow would be a good fit. The downside to this type of workflow is that you can't guarantee that everyone is going to book this free consult. So you would have to do follow-ups with people, and the way to do follow-ups is Dubsado doesn't have an option, send them a reminder if they haven't booked a call. You can do things if they haven't filled out a form, but there are no actions to take if they haven't booked a call. So that's a little bit more complex, and I'm not going to get into that over here, but yeah, it means splitting up this workflow into two parts and doing follow-ups on one workflow, and then if they do book a call, start a different workflow. So it gets a little bit complicated. That's the downside, that Dubsado hasn't created that, send email if appointment hasn't been booked. Hopefully that's in the works. The third type of workflow that I'm going to talk about is not really an inquiry workflow, but for some people, depending on the stage of business that they're at, it's the first workflow in Dubsado. So this type of workflow is mostly for people who are booked out or who have wait lists or are selling an offer that doesn't necessarily require one-on-one interaction. So like something that just can happen in the background and it's not taking any of your time. So this requires a public proposal. So it's a proposal. So this is my proposal template. How you would turn this into something that can work for that initial stage is turning it into a public proposal. And what that means is that it's kind of like a proposal / lead capture. Anyone who fills out this proposal will be a new project inside of Dubsado for you. So how do you set that up? You're basically going to come down here and you see that this is toggled on. So you have to make sure that this is toggled on. Okay. And then from there, you can attach it to a workflow. Let's say the sample workflow, you can even attach a project status and say, once they fill this out, they go into a delivery status, let's pretend. But this toggle is what makes this, it's not an inquiry workflow, it's kind of like an initial workflow for some of your clients. So you toggle that on, and then here, basically you can use that link directly to this form, or you can embed it on your website, and anyone who fills that out and selects the products or offers or whatever you have below is going to appear as a new client for you inside of Dubsado. And as with any, proposal, you can toggle the contract on, you can toggle the invoice on, you can even select payment plans. Just a word of advice, if you select payment plans here, they cannot be selected in your workflow. So make sure your payment plans are either in your workflow or in your proposal. They can't be in both places because they'll cancel each other out. It's going to go, you can do the 3-in-1, right? So they fill it out, they go to their contract, they go to their invoice, and done. Whatever offer it is you've done everything in one spot. And a project has been created and they can be added to a workflow and start, going down that workflow. So these are basically the 3 types of workflows that I've seen for inquiry or, starting out in Dubsado. And hopefully this has been helpful to help you understand which one is best suited to you, to your business, to your stage of business, so you can create these in Dubsado. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.